All right, I am gonna take you guys through some soft tissue stuff for the calves. The calves can be kind of a challenging muscle to do conventional foam rolling on. A fairly common technique that people will try to use for foam rolling on the calves is just to sit on the floor and put either one or both legs up on the foam roller and then try to do this like weird tricep dip, static hold while rolling yourself back and forth kind of thing, which can work okay. The challenging thing is that for most people, before you can actually get any sort of appreciable change in the calf tissue, your arms are gonna die before you get that far. So what I like to do instead is we can actually just basically take the foam roller and sit on it. So we're gonna use this. I like this a lot, especially if you struggle with ankle range of motion being something that holds you back on things like squatting and lunging. We want to get the calf down at the soleus where it's a little bit more active when the knee is bent. So I like this because it's going to put me into a bent knee position. And then all I'm going to do is just put my feet down on the ground. I'm going to take the foam roller. And I'm going to drop it right on top of that soleus muscle. So the soleus, if you're not familiar with how the calves are set up, the larger muscle up here is called the gastrocnemius. This one crosses over the knee joint, so you're better off getting this one when the knee is straight. This one down here at the ankle is called the soleus, and it does not cross over the knee. So if the knee is bent, it's a little bit easier to hit. That one, I think, has a lot more of an impact on exercises like squatting and lunging at like the low ends of the position. So take a foam roller, just drop it right on top of that, and then all we're gonna do is just sit. So it's actually a fairly easy thing to do. The muscle isn't huge in terms of the surface area we're trying to get. It's about as big as the foam roller, give or take. So I can just sit on this and I don't have to really worry about rolling back and forth too much. So I can just sit here and let static pressure gradually alleviate the tension in that muscle. So all I want to do is just get here, and if it feels like it's a lot of pressure, you just ease off how much you're sitting. So for some people, just getting their butt in contact with the foam roller and only having maybe 5 or 10 pounds of pressure is going to feel like a lot. Other people might need to put their entire weight back into this, but find it so that you can tolerate the pressure that's there. It is something you want to try to breathe through, so I'd recommend something along the lines of maybe like 10 or 20 breaths. Just sit here. I wouldn't worry about a stopwatch. I just breathe. 10, 20 breaths, just hold it. You don't really have to do a whole lot in terms of shifting the foam roller around. However, one thing that I do like to do, at least for part of those 10 or 20 breaths, is just take my fists and put them right on the side of the foam roller and just put a little bit of downward pressure, just so that I'm not only hitting dead center on the muscle, just because no muscles are completely flat. There is some curvature to either side of the soleus. So just by putting a little bit of pressure with my fists, I can also make sure that I'm not just hanging out purely on one spot. I won't necessarily do that for the entire time. Again, if I'm doing 20 breaths, maybe I do it for half of them. But it's a fairly simple thing to do. Now, if you find that you have any issues with your feet cramping when you do this, you can just simply move to the ball of your foot. So this will typically avoid any sort of cramping. It might actually even help just a little bit with targeting the calf in a slightly different way. Just because as I'm sitting here, this is a little bit more remnant of the exact position I get into when I squat and deadlifting. I'm a little bit more dorsiflexed at the ankle. So some people will find that there's a value in not just doing the shoelaces down, but actually being on the ball of the foot like this. But I don't think it's necessary for everybody. But if you do find that getting in a lot of cramping in the bottom of your foot is something you're dealing with, I would use this as the alternative. Super simple stuff. I would highly recommend doing it before you train, just so you get more usability through the ankle joint. Give it a go. I'll spend a minute on it, see how it feels, and you let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you like the video if you like this sort of stuff, and make sure you subscribe to our channel for any other updates. Have a good one, guys.